Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 14, Chapter 27. The Sadhguru Speaks, Part 1 of 3. The macrocosmos and the microcosmos, the Brahmanda and the Pindanda, the universal and the individual, all arise from the one truth. They are manifestations and emergence of that truth, which is not affected by either. That truth is known as Brahman. When this unmodifiable, transcendent and immanent Brahman, instead of just being, decides on becoming, it is best designated as God, Ishvara, Almighty. The divine ground of everything is the spiritual absolute, called Paramatman, Supreme Absolute Self. It is also the ground, the base, the core, the reality of man. But in spite of becoming, which is only an illusion imposing multiplicity on the one being, it remains one. So long as inquiry is postponed, only the multiplicity is cognized. The multiplicity is neither real nor unreal. It is relatively real, temporary real, pragmatically real, mithya, not satya, but an amalgam of satya, truth, and asatya, untruth, apparently real but fundamentally unreal. Real for most practical purposes, vyavahara, but unreal when the basic nature is unraveled. Mithya is a mixture of satya and asatya, the knowledge of the serpent, which is negated when the knowledge of the rope is won. Maya makes us believe the world is real. The clouds appear to be stuck to the sky. So too, Maya, the tendency to conclude that what the senses tell us is true, to project our preferences and prejudices onto the world around us, gives us an untrue picture of Brahman. It makes us believe that the world is real. Its impact warps our reasoning process, our sensory impressions, and our views on God, on creation, and on man. It spreads before us a diversity which tantalizes and deceives. The basic truth upon which Maya, divine illusion, projects its kaleidoscope is described by seers as Sat Chit Ananda, being, awareness, bliss absolute. This does not mean that Brahman has three attributes, namely, it exists beyond time and space, it knows and can be known, it is the source and acme of bliss. They are not three distinct characteristics. They indicate the one of which the three can be grasped by experience, not by words, for words can only recoil before that Godhead. We cannot assert that Brahman, Supreme Being, belongs to a class, nor can it be defined by the three basic qualities. It cannot be described as performing any specific activity, for it is ever motionless. Nor can it be explained in terms of relationship with other entities, for it is one, without a second. Maya is only the divine will that inaugurated the manifestation of the cosmos. Ekoham bahusyam, I am one, I will be many. Maya, apparent deluding reality, inheres in every being and every activity of that being. It has three aspects of achievement through the three modes and moods of that will, the Sattvic, the Rajasic, and the Tamasic. The calm, contented, equanimous mood, the potent, passionate mood, the inert, slothful, sluggish mood. Maya is the will that causes the variety. When Maya prompts us into the Sattvic mood of that will, we become progressive seekers of jnana, spiritual wisdom, that reveals the unity. When we are overwhelmed by the Rajasic quality of that will, we are deluded into the pursuit of worldly victories and ephemeral wealth and renown. The Tamasic nature of that will seeks the quickest and easiest ways of happy living. These are the reflections in our minds of the basic modes of that will that Brahman assumes when it is moved by the primal urge to express itself. The facets of that will are called Jnana Shakti, Ichcha Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. The three modes affect beings and things in various proportions and permutations. And so we have all the variety and diversity of the objective world. Atman, whether individualized or universalized, is one only. The Jivatman, individual soul, and the Paramatman, supreme soul, are one and indivisible. The philosophers of all lands and all times have sought to discover the truth about God, the objective world and man, as well as the mutual relationship between each other. Maya is the will that causes all three. It is a clear, flawless mirror. When the Sattvic nature is reflected in that mirror, God results. When the Rajasic nature is reflected, the Jiva, individualized self, results. It is ever anxious to grow, to grab, to survive, and to be secure. When Tamasic nature is reflected, matter, the objective world, is the result. All three are Paramatman, but they derive their reality as its reflections. When undergoing reflections, they attain different forms and combinations of characteristics. The one becomes many. Every one of the many is real only because of the one in it. Maya, too, is a component of the one. By the emphasis on that component, the one transformed itself into the many. The one comprehends all the images. We now know that Maya is like a mirror. The mirror reflects within itself all that is before it. The convexity or concavity of the mirror, or the covering of dust that might have settled on it, will certainly blur the reflected image, but it cannot distort the objects themselves. Ishvara, Prakriti, and Jiva, the Almighty God, objective world, and individualized self, all three are images of Paramatman, Supreme Soul, reflected in the mirror of Maya and warped by the gunas, qualities, that tarnish the surface of the mirror. It is the mirror that pictures the one as many, but the one is ever one. The one is comprehensive of all this, so it has no wants, no desires, and no activity to realize anything. Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, Name partashti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. There is nothing I have to do in any of the three worlds. He has willed the world as his sport. He has laid down that every deed must have its consequences. He is the dispenser of the consequences, but he is not involved in the deeds. End of part 1 of 3. Guru Purnima, Prashanti Nilayam, July 9th, 1979.